tell you about my experience with her. It was the end of school, and I was waiting for my friends, Aiko-san and Daichi-chan. We were walking to the park, where we always go before heading to our apartments. While we were walking, we were stopped by a woman, walking around like she was looking for something or someone. She walked over to us and looked at Aiko-san. She told us to keep walking and said she had to ask Aiko-san something important. I and Daichi-chan walked off confused and curious. When we got to our apartments, we found Aiko-san running towards her apartment room. I shouted, "Hey, Aiko-san, are you okay? You look rather frightened?" She stopped in her tracks and said, "Sis, she's coming for me." Daichi and I looked at each other and laughed a little, thinking she was joking because she loved to joke around with us. But in my head, I knew something was up. I have never seen Aiko-san look that frightened in her life. The next day, I and Daichi-chan walked out of our apartment rooms, but Aiko-san didn't come out. We knocked on her door a few times before Daichi-chan said she probably went on without us, and I agreed. When we got into the building, she wasn't there either. We asked every student she knew, and they all said they didn't know where she was, which I found weird. When I and Daichi-chan walked into the class, we saw people crying. Some stormed out of the classroom and some chatting with others. While I and Daichi-chan looked at the projector, we were devastated. It said that Aiko-san was found dead in her apartment with her mouth slit on both sides. I saw a note on the side of her, and my heart sank when I read what it said. "You're next, Daichi," is what it read. When Daichi-chan read it, he started crying and screaming. I was staring at the note and wondered, did it have something to do with that weird lady we saw yesterday? Or did it have something to do with Aiko-san? When I and Daichi-chan had to go to the library, I went to a computer and looked up, "woman with a slit face." I pulled up, the same woman we saw yesterday. When I went deeper into research, I saw all the information I need. Her name was Kuchisake-onna. She used to be a beautiful woman who had the most wealthy man in the village. She always asked every kid in the village if she was pretty, and they always said yes, making her feel like she could get away with anything and everything. One night, when her husband was coming home from work, he saw his wife cheating on him. The next night, Kuchisake tried to apologize over and over until her husband forgave her. He slit her mouth open and pushed her over a bridge, where she was never found again. The next day, her husband felt bad about what he did, and he started thinking about her. Then that's when it happened. She was standing by his bed when he came home from work, and she asked, "Am I pretty?" He responded by saying, "Yes, darling, of course." When she turned around, she had scissors in her hand and walked towards him. He asked, "What are you doing to—" Just before he could finish his sentence, the slit his mouth opened. He screamed in agony and despair, begging for mercy. Then she stabbed him and hung him in his house. He put her name on a note and ran off into the wilderness. Some said she disappeared forever, while others say she asked 3 high school students if she was pretty. But then she killed them one by one, and this went on for 3 years. "Oh my God," Daichi-chan said. When we're walking to our apartments, we saw the same woman. She asked, "Am I pretty?" And Daichi said, "Yes, you are beautiful." I had a pit growing in my stomach. Then she took off her mask, and I think I almost peed my pants. She had a slit mouth and asked the same question. Then Daichi said, No, you're not. What happened next made me run for dear life. She slit Daiichi's mouth, and he fell to the ground as she stabbed him. I ran so fast, my shoe almost fell off. I ran into my apartment and locked my door. I ran straight to my wardrobe, got dressed, closed the blinds and curtains, and went to bed. I walked to school, tired, sad, and devastated. My hair had lost its spark, and my eyes were kind of droopy. I went back to the library to find how to defeat her. I only came across one answer. You must distract her in a way that she forgets what she asked. So when I was walking back to my apartment, she came up to me, asked the same question, and of course, I said yes. Then she took off her masks and asked the same question. Then I asked her about her personal life and how old she was, where did she live, and such things. Then I said, well, look at the time. I have to go. I was good talking to you, and walked off. I walked into my apartment and went to school the next day. When I walked through the alley, she wasn't there. This kept going for a year now. I am still sad about my friends' deaths, but knowing they will be by my side at all times, I am fine. And that is how I escaped Kuchisake-onna.